All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the How Can I Help My Child? How can I support my child to succeed, to excel? How can I support my child series? Every child has got a package within. Every child comes with a package within. What we have come to realize is that some children would never get the opportunity to open the package that they have come with. Every single human being has been blessed with a package by God. Whether you will get the chance or you will be supported, guided by the right people to unpack or to, open that present, that package that you have is another thing altogether. My name is Mary Beth Shima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. And of course, I am the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle and the host of the How Can I Support My Child series. Today, we are going to be concluding the episode on how can I help my child pursue their hobbies and interests. Our children have hobbies. Everyone has a hobby. Everyone's got an interest, especially children. When children are young, we see them jump around. If we pay attention as parents, we will notice that they have particular things that they love to do. If we pay attention to the pattern in this child, if we pay attention to the pattern around this child, we will realize that there are particular things that the child gets to do over and over again. Now, these things are the things that the child becomes exceptional at doing. Why is this? Because the child would do these things that they love to do, the things they're interested in, the things that are their superpowers, the things that are their hobbies, that become hobbies to the children. The child would do this thing without having to think about it too seriously. The child does it effortlessly. Yes, and we know by now that in your career or in whatever it is that you choose to do in life, the things that you do without having to struggle, the things that you do better than the average person, the thing that you do that is a gift that comes easily to you are the things that we excel in. Let's take, for instance, a Michael Jackson, for instance. I mean, of course, we know that that voice is for locum, right? There is something in there that is a gift that is to you alone. There's something in there that is your uniqueness, is your unique aptitude, it's something that you have been blessed with that is different from what other people have. I mean, are we saying that there are people who have sung better, who have sung well in the past? Or there is people who are singing as great as he was. But there is something, each of us has got it differently. So that's why you listen to different musicians and their sounds, are different. That is because we have been given different gifts. You listen to different people, and each of them is blessed and is amazing in their unique way. That is to tell us that we have been blessed specially, right? And each of us has got our unique superpowers. Now, the goal or the big part of it is when we now have the right people in our lives, or we now have people in our lives that are present enough. I talked about it yesterday, and I said having that one person that believes in the vision that you can't see yet, that believes in the dream that you cannot see yet, okay, in the life of your child, that one person, that visionary parent, that visionary adult, that visionary coach, whoever it is in the life of that child that is significant enough and can make decisions, right? And can make decisions and guide the child effectively. Someone who has access, real access to the child, and the person is in that position where the person believes in the child. Now, this person is able to harness the gifts, these special things that we're talking about, this gift, this special talent, this special interest, this hobby that the child does with ease, that the child does without having to break a sweat, this thing that the child does without having to overdo or over try, that no one has to pursue them to do, no one has to yell and scream and shout or compel them to do on their own. They get into that space and they do it effortlessly. Now, if we are able to identify this in the children and we're able to support them, then it means that they can build skills out of these things. And when they show up, they keep practicing, they keep developing that muscle, they keep strengthening that muscle in that skill. What happens? It leads to mastery. And it is in that mastery that the child begins to get a sense of satisfaction, because you know what happens? Okay, in fact, they start getting a sense of satisfaction from the very beginning. It is from that mastery and the journey, all of that process, the child becomes passionate about what it is that they do. They have a sense of fulfillment through what it is that they do. They become valuable in that area. As they become valuable, you know what happens with value? When you have value, when you have something that is valuable, even if you hide under a rock, the people who need the value that you carry, the people who need the things that you can provide solutions for, they will seek you. Yes, they will seek you. All you need is to know how to position yourself. Okay, and these are the things that we are talking about. And we started this conversation yesterday, and we said, as parents, as that caregiver, as that parent, as that one significant person in your child's life, you can actually encourage the person. You can actually encourage the child. And we looked at it. We said, when you engage with the child, when you nurture the dreams, or you nurture the this small things you see in the child that look like something is going to come out of it. When you nurture that, when you take your time to observe, you take your time to understand the child, you take your time to respect their preferences and respect, when you have finished introducing, and guiding the child, you take your time to respect the things that the child prefers, and you do all of that. You adapt to the changes, teach the child how to adapt, and then you guide the child. We say, when we do this, then you have positioned yourself to be a support system to this child, and to point to the child to, of course, harnessing the superpowers that they have, and turning that hobby into something that is meaningful and productive. We also talk about support. Okay, we talked about support. We talked about showing up for the child, right? Uncovering the special skills that they have. We talked about you providing the environment and the access to resources that the child will need to move from just this thing being a hobby to it being something that the child is coached and is practicing and is honing. And of course, coaching and practicing and honing would require resources. It could be monetary resources, it could be facility, it could be, but somehow money is involved, right? At this point, of that journey. We say you need to be positive. If a child is doing all of this and all you have is negativity around the child, if you are going to use a skill that the child is building as a reason for insults, okay, if you're going to get back at the child every time using that skill. I'll give you an example. Your child loves football. Your child is great in the pitch or on the pitch and all of that. And then every time the child does not do the dish properly, or every time the child doesn't make his bed, the only thing you say is, look at you. The only thing you know in your life is football. Your head is empty. So you use this as a thing to taunt the child over. Okay, when you are like that, you're not being positive about that skill. At some point, the child will begin to think that that skill is more of a burden than it is a blessing. All right, so we need to be careful about these things in the bid to be parents who are disciplined, right? That's how we like to put it. In the bid to be parents who take no nonsense, we might just end up, destroying and destroying and destroying and destroying, just because we don't have our emotions put in the right place. So today, let's jump in, and we're going to be looking at the two last aspects of the things that we can do to support our children. There's another group of skills, or another group of ways that you can be present with your child, for your child. And I say this one is inspire as an acronym. So let's look at what it is to inspire. You should be ready to invest your time, invest your money, invest your time and your money in supporting the child. When you find out that they have a hobby or an interest, right, you should be. Now, your presence and your support in that way, investing your time, is as important as investing your money. A lot of times as parents, we just conclude that all we need to do is invest money. Okay, so we provide the money, we drop the money, and then we walk away. Now, there is a motivation that comes from knowing that you are a part of what they do. And this one goes especially to you, dear fathers. Okay, let's look at it this way. If a mother's presence gives a child a 10, a 10, how do I put it now? A 10 energy power to raise to power 10. Okay, let me just use that. All right. If a mother's support gives a child energy raised to power 10, a father's support will give that same child energy raised to power 100. Don't ask me why. It is how God has done it. The influence that fathers have on their children is amazing. But you know something? That influence does not come to play until the father is intentional, connects with the children, and the father becomes a supportive and present father. So when a father makes time to be present, you are the one who is doing school run to an extent. You show up in those meetings that are important or pivotal in the child's future. When for every time that it is important, for every event that is important, for every milestone that is a breakthrough in the child's life, he turns and you are there. There is something about a father that says, I trust you, I trust you, I believe in you, and of course, I expect this from you, even if you're saying it or not saying it. Okay, if you are present, then you don't even need to say it that much. Just being present, modeling what it is that you want your child to embody, and then being there to support them through the process is louder than anything that you can say with your mouth. So the mistake a lot of us make, especially fathers, is you are not modeling intentionally. Like, I want to see this child turn out to be a gentleman. I want to see this girl turn out to be a lady, like in every sense of it. And then I show up myself as a gentleman consistently. And then I treat the people around, especially their mother, like a lady. That's all the lesson that your child needs. Your daughter needs to know what it is to be a lady, because she has seen one and she has seen how the gentleman has treated the lady. So now she knows how to be a lady, and she knows what to expect or what to accept of the gentleman at any point, whether they are colleagues, they are employers, employees, or a spouse. Now she knows. Same thing for your son. Now he knows what it takes to be a gentleman. He knows what it takes to treat a lady. He knows what it takes to treat people, simply because he watched his father treat people right. It's all. Now, the mistake, as I said, that we make is we don't show up this way, and then we look for opportunities once in a while to say to our children, oh, this is the right thing to do. 1 second, please. All right, sorry about that. All right, and then we wait for, once in a while, we will now show up as fathers, and we will now have a session, an advice session, where you just talk. No, children see more than they hear. Children will copy more than they will listen. Okay, there is that saying by I can't remember who, that says, "Tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will learn." So when you involve the child, when the child sees it's a practical thing, this is me doing it, and then I expect you, then I now give you experiences and opportunities for you to also do this using the model that I have shown to you. And then I now create opportunities for you to continuously practice this. This is how people learn. This is how children learn. This is why you go on a new job in a sensitive place like a bank, and they help, I mean, they ensure that you understudy someone on the job. They don't just end up with you doing theory and then hand you accounts or hand you whatever it is and walk away. They make sure that you are understudying someone. Okay, it is principles. These things are principles, and they work in business as well as they work in families. So if at this stage you still do not know that your family is an organization, you still do not know that your family is a business, and that you need to treat it with policies, with principles, with the same structure that you will put into a business, then, or an organization, then there is something that is missing that, we need to still go back to the drawing board and figure out. All right, so this is it. All right, so let's jump right into it. So we say invest. We're talking about investing. So you need to invest your time, most especially your time. You invest your time in the child and the thing that the child is honing, or skill, I mean, the skill that the child is honing. So if your child is into sports, then you would want to show up at their games. If you're not going to show up at every one of them, have a routine. Children thrive, human beings thrive on routines. We thrive on routines. So when you are that person that you want to be unpredictable, unpredictability confuses your child. Children need to be able to predict you, and this is even right from when they are tiny little babies. Do you know the most stable environment you can create for your infants is having a routine where the child knows that the child is going to eat every 20 minutes, every 30 minutes. So at that 30 minutes, you will realize that the child is already expecting, because the child has a routine and the child is not in confusion. The child knows their routine. Have you seen a child, even for children who are under under the spectrum or something like that, children who are have certain, I want to use the right word, I don't want to use the wrong word, children who are developmentally challenged, or basically, even for children like that, autistic children and children like that, do you know they practically thrive on routines? So when a time that they're supposed to do a particular thing comes and they are not getting it, they are not having it, that's it, they begin to lose it, and that's when they get into that whole feed, and then they have a real showdown, and they're throwing a tantrum and all of that. If you keep to their routine, so human beings, we thrive on routines. Human beings thrive on routines. So don't be that parent that is proud to say, oh, my children cannot predict you. Your children should predict you. Okay, it is how they will become stable. It is how they will become stable as human beings. Okay, that they're able to predict you. So create a routine around it where you show up, even if it's 1 month. So the other times that you are not there, the child knows that, okay, it's going to be daddy's turn next week. So he waits, he anticipates that. Do you know anticipation is enough? I mean, anticipation releases enough feel-good hormone in your child. So basically, that your child can anticipate, oh, that this is coming, is enough for the child to have the right hormones that will allow brain development. All right. So all of this, I mean, even you as a person, think about as an adult, think about it, that that, oh, every month, I remember back then in the bank when that, oh, your what you call upfront, they used to pay us upfront that time somewhere around February. So there is that excitement. By the time it's it's mid-January, there's an excitement that sometimes you can't even put your finger on, right? You can't put your finger on, and you have to stop and ask yourself, what is it that is inside me that is getting me all excited? It is only when you stop to think about it that you'll be like, oh, okay, that is the power of consistency, and that is the power of what? Predictability. You can predict the system. It's the same thing with your salary for those who work. All right, your salary drops on the 21st, and by the 22nd, whatever it is that you're going through, something in you is already saying, relax, relax. Okay, 2 days time. And if you belong to an organization where it drops on that same day, the fact that you can predict is what makes you calm and stable, knowing that, all right, it's okay, it will drop. So you can make plans, you can make promises, you can do all of that because it's this place. I work for this place. I've been here for 15 years, and not one day has it not dropped on this day. This is predictability, and this is how you raise stable children. The way that makes you financially or whatever stable as an employee that works, in that organization. That's the same way your child is, stable, and your child is vibrant when they can predict the system around them. So let no one ever lie to you that you should raise your children without predictability. So yes, that is going to show up once in a month, and it's on the last Saturday of the month, and voila, that alone will help that child. That alone will motivate the child, because ultimately, in everything that you are doing to support your child to harness, their hobbies, harness their talents, and of course their interests, you are trying to move it from a place that it is motivated externally or extrinsically to the point that it becomes motivated intrinsically. It is only when your child becomes intrinsically motivated that they begin to grow passion. Passion comes from you wanting that thing. You love wanting that thing as much as the next, or as much as those who are guiding you or leading you towards that thing. Passion is what Messi has. Passion is what Ronaldo has, isn't it? They want to win the game as much as the club needs them to win the game. They want to win the game as much as the coach wants them to win the game. So it's not about the coach. It's not about the club. It's because they are personally, intrinsically motivated. So that's what we want to do with our children when it comes to their interests, their hobbies. At the beginning, they are just having fun. They don't even think it's anything. You identify it and you say, let's go with this. And then you begin to support the child. And then you inspire the child in this acronym that we're using. You now invest the time. You now do all of this. Now, what you're doing gradually with all that you are providing, the support, the guidance, being there, being excited, being positive. Now the child gets to the point where the child really wants to do it. The child is excited about you coming for their game. The child wants to show off to you when you are at the game. The child wants to win that game because you're present. As all of this is happening, the brain, the subconscious mind doesn't know how to sieve anything. It takes the whole excitement as it is. So every time the child gets to that place to play the game, what the subconscious mind gives to him is that experience. It's an experience of excitement. It's an experience of joy. It's an experience of this, and this is it. And then gradually, the child is moving from being externally motivated to being intrinsically motivated. So that's why nobody needs to tell him to win. He's going to go win on his own. And this is not just about football. This can be math. This can be science. This can be in education. This can be in that invention. This can be in that music. It can be in every aspect of their life that God has given them gifts and talents in, so that they can use it to live the purpose for which God has created them and impact the world. So the next thing you want to do is you want to now help them form a network. If your child is great at something, you have identified this, you're supporting the child, and then you have reached the point where you're now bringing someone to support them, or you've enrolled them in a system where they can build skills. Remember, that's the goal. We want to build skills out of the raw talents that they have, because anything that is not refined cannot you cannot maximize, anything that is not refined. That is the reason with all of our crude oil in Nigeria, we can still not hit our chest and say we have arrived, because we do not refine it. We cannot use the oil in its crude state. We still need to send it to somewhere where they will refine it and sell it to us for much more than we sold it out. Why? Because the crude is useless to us. It is the refined product that is productive. So when our children have these skills, they have this raw talent, interest, and hobbies. It is raw. Now, your job is to help them refine it. All right. So this is the refining process. So in that refining process, you will have to help them identify a network of people who share the same interests as them, a network of people who do the same thing as them, and then you put them in that system. This is part of what we do in the Mastermind Circle, our peer mentorship and accountability group for young children. What we do is we want you to bring in your children, 6 to 14-year-olds. Let them be in the company of like minds. Let them be in a process that they are refining themselves. And as they are going through that process, they can see other people who are already self-motivated. They can see other people who are at the same level as them, right, struggling with self-motivation. They can see other people's results. Oh, this person just did the book. Oh, this person just did this. This person just volunteered, for this organization. And then the child is thinking, oh, I could do that too. Okay, maybe I can try that too. So we're growing in that community with children with the same set of values. With the same set of values. If the last the last few if this year, the things that have happened online, especially in this part in Nigeria, let's look, talk about where we are. The things that have happened in Nigeria online, right? All the things that you have seen, all the things that young people are doing, all the things that are, trending. If it hasn't told you yet that our value system is in the gutters, if it hasn't told you yet that our value systems are being washed away, if you have been listening to young people in the last 6 months, going by what happens on social media, which happens to be here and we cannot deny. In fact, if you are in that space where you are still biased about social media and you're still telling yourself, I don't have a business on social media, you are wrong. You cannot have Gen Zs and have Alpha generation children. You cannot have children that you're raising today. You are a father, you are a mother, and you don't know what's happening in the trend. You are being selfish. What you are doing is you're living for you alone. Because if you are living for your children, then you will know the places that your children are going to be hanging out at, and you will know what's going on in this system, just so that you can effectively support your children. So now, if you have been in that space, you will know that there's a lot of gutter thinking. There's a lot of messed up thinking. The narratives are skewed. The belief system, the ideologies, what our young people think and believe about everything, starting from relationships to God to money, especially, it's all messed up and skewed. So if you're not going to raise children in communities where the ones that we have who have their right values, their values in the right place, are associating, are supporting each other, and are growing together, we are going to have children with that. After every intentional work that you have done, they will still go and swallow the narrative that is out there, because the few people or the people who are out there are loud. They are loud. All right, so let's move on. The next one is you want to support the child. So you find them a network, you support them in that network. You want to participate. All right, so some of these things are interwoven. You want to participate in the process. So in that process, okay, I remember one of my friends had to leave everything that she was doing and travel all the way to Europe with her son, because he was already building a career. She still does that. He's already building a career in sports and all of that. Now, that is absolute support and participating. Now, when she goes there, she has had to connect with other parents like herself. She's had to build a community, with parents who have the same interest or have children who share common interests. So while she's doing that, what is she doing? She is participating in the process also. Now you have to, in all of these things, if your goal is to help the child, take this on after a while, that it becomes the child's dream and not just your vision. Then you must teach your child to stop and reflect. Reflection is a skill that every parent owes their child to know. Teach our children how to reflect. And you don't teach them how to reflect by talking all the time. If you want your child to internalize something, create a process that allows them go through the process without you having to talk. A process that becomes natural and fluidless. Do you understand? You know, that is fluid, sorry. A process that is fluid, it becomes their everyday life. That's how you do it. So now journaling is a great way to help children become reflective human beings. All you need to do is in the morning, you know, you say prayer, you have things. What are the things you plan to do today? You are making your child streamline their mind to what is it that I want. You are making them become intentional. All right. What are you planning to do today? Oh, I'm going to do this. Or what do you have to do today? Oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. That is you making your child reflective, a thinking human being. Okay. You know how Thomas Edison says that there are only about 5% of people in this world that actually think. 25% of people think that they are thinking, but they're actually not thinking. And 75% of the people would rather die than think. We just want to wake up and move. No thoughts, no thinking, nothing. But hey, 100% of us are moving around thinking that we're thinking. No, only 5% are thinking. So you want to deliberately make your child a part of that 5% data by passing them through the process of thinking. It is a taught skill. Yes. Scratch that thing that keeps telling you it's not everything that you teach. You will have to stimulate your environment for people to learn effectively. So yes, you want your child to be a thinking human being. Point them to thinking. First mention, stimulate your environment for them by creating a process that they go through to think. And then after that, they will do the rest. That's when you say, oh, intuition and all of that will come in. Yes, that's when you do it. If not, you will be living and you will be winging it. And so if you have 10 children, maybe one of them will figure things on their own. What happens to the 9%? So we don't have time for waiting for people to figure. We will point you to it. We will guide you and we will give you a process that allows you practice it easily. And then that way we can, what do you call it now? At that point, we can reduce the ratio, all right? And we can really have maybe 9 of them, and then one of them will probably not still get it. Do you understand? Rather than do nothing. So being intentional as a parent is deciding to do something rather than do nothing. Because a lot of times the reason most of us do not want to do anything is not because it's about we want them to discover. It's because it's too much work for us. So it's because we don't even know what to do. So look at our society. We've had enough of children who have to figure things out on their own. That's how we are so messed up as a people, and the society is so messed up. All right, let's have systems. It is the same you who travels from Nigeria. You get to the airport in Nigeria and it is chaotic because everybody wants to figure out on their own whether to do right when they get to the airport or not. And then you get to Heathrow where they have put a system. They don't have time for you figuring out. So they have put a system that says you do this and then this and then this and then this. So when you get to their airport, no one has to say a single word to you. You get out of the plane and you get right there and then you file out, because the system has created a structure that makes you file out, so that when you even try to shun, you will look at yourself and you by yourself will tell yourself, are you all right? Do you understand? So that's what systems do. Systems do for our children. When we create them, then we create a pathway, a roadmap that they can now come and they can now go. You see, instruction is a thing. Instruction is a thing. That is why the most disciplined people in the world are people who come from systems where instruction is key and they have come to accept instruction. Why do you think coaches and football, why do you think sports is the way it is? Because as a coach, for crying out loud, Ronaldo does not go in there with all of his expertise and decide, you know something, today I want to play back, I want to play forward, or I want to be goalkeeper. Today I want to play as I like, my style. No, it is how the coach has structured that game. That's how the game is going to happen. Sorry, my camera is off. I hope you can hear me. Let's just deal with this for now, with you just this way. All right. So thank you very much. Let's move on. The next one, okay, reflect. And then, of course, we want to be parents who are engage. We want to engage in the things that our children do. The show is for 20 to 30 minutes. So at this point, we will have to end the show for today. And we've not even exhausted all that we have to do. But hey, we have tomorrow again. We're back here tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. where we will be sharing part or something from the questions that we have parents ask us every time. How can I support my child? So this is the How Can I Support My Child series, and we do this every 8:30 a.m. in the morning for 15 to 30 minutes, and then we are gone and we're back here the next day throughout the week, Monday through Friday. I've talked about the Mastermind Circle over and over again. It is such a robust and effective community. We call it the foundation ground for young people. If you have a child between 6, as a matter of fact, if you have a child who is 5 years and 7 months, then the child, by September, the child can join us in the Mastermind Circle. All right, up to children who are 14. After 14, we graduate the children and we send them to teenage programs with our chests, full chest, knowing that we have raised a teenager who can be engaging, who is productive, and who knows how to navigate at that level. So we want to help you build or support and partner, collaborate with you to build a solid foundation for your young child. We want to teach them how to set goals for themselves, how to create plans to achieve the goals, and how to be motivated enough to live and to see that goal through to the end. We have zero shaming policy in the Mastermind Circle. It's all modeling, encouragement, mentorship, and peer mentorship. And it's such a robust and amazing system that our results are just all over the place. Thank you very much for joining me today. I can't wait to have you again tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. In the meantime, have a fantastic rest of the day and God bless you. My name is Maribeth Shima and I am the matron of the Mastermind Circle. If you'd like to be a part of the Mastermind Circle, all you need to do is book a slot with 5,000 Naira today and get your child a seat in the Mastermind Circle, getting set for September 1st when we begin. Now, over the months from now to September, you can pay installmentally until your finished payment before the 1st of September. Guess what? The Mastermind is one of the most affordable yet effective system that you can have. And we say this with our full chest. The Mastermind is only about less than 6,000 Naira a month. Yes, it's less than 6,000 Naira a month, meaning you get to pay only 70,000 for an entire year. 365 days we are with you, supporting your child every day. We are in their face, in their lives every day. Can it get better than this? All right, dear parents, thank you very much, and I can't wait to mentor your child. Thank you and bye.